Good morning. Today I'll be presenting to you my findings on the financial statistics assignment that is based on the Melbourne Houses. Firstly, let's start off with the report outline. In this outline of the report, it shows some of the items, that is the descriptive statistics, the dashboard, the confidence intervals, the hypothesis setting, and also the correlation and also the regression. As to that, in this report, these are 5 of the very important and the main things of the unit outline. Other than that, is that in these findings is that 5 of these items are then going to become a very understandable and also a very more detailed findings throughout. Firstly, let's start off with descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics plays a very important role in this assignment because it actually helps to easier to analyze the data and also to get a better understanding based on the information. Descriptive statistics plays a very important role because it is not only easy to be analyzed, the data is not only easy to be analyzed, but then at the same time, it actually enables the people to actually also gain better understanding. This is because looking at the graphs, that is graphical and also statistics graphs that is used in these findings, people will be able to get to know more about what is actually happening based on the findings without having to explain a lot through the findings or through the calculations that is gained. As to that, these are 3 of the bar charts that are considered. That is the bar chart for type, the bar chart for the seller, and the bar chart for method. All of these 3 is for the Melbourne Houses. That is the type, that is the seller of the Melbourne Houses, and the method used. As to that, in this bar chart, they is able to see, all of them are able to see the frequency and also the percentage frequency of the findings. It's actually very useful, and people can just like analyze looking at the bar chart here, which actually consists of the percentage as well, and also looking at how the columns, whether which one is higher and which one is lower. It is easier compared to having to look at all of the data. Okay, moving on, next is the confidence interval. So for this part in the findings, the confidence interval, that is the average land size for the selling agent Nelson only, and the average price for all listings is good. As to that, Melbourne Houses actually consists of a lot of the selling agent, but then in this finding, we only find the average land size for the selling agent Nelson only. Nelson is the only selling agent that we have to find throughout this whole report to see whether the performance, whether it's good or not for him. As for the average price for all the listings, there are a lot of listings in the Melbourne Houses, and we want to know whether the average price is all good for all the listing or only some of the average price is good. As to that, the findings has proved that it is good for both the land size, selling agent Nelson only, and the average price for all of the listing because there is a static calculation for this confidence interval part. Moving on, next is the hypothesis testing. The hypothesis testing is very important because it is either accepted or it is rejected. As to that, in these findings, what we have to find is the average price for 2 of the bathrooms and the average price for 3 of the bathrooms. As to that, the average price for 2 of the bathrooms is seen lower, while the average price for 3 of the bathrooms is seen as higher through the findings. As to that, this is proven that the hypothesis testing is accepted, and it is very important for the findings because we want to know whether the hypothesis is being accepted or whether it's being rejected. Because we can look at the progress here just by the hypothesis testing. Other than that, it also felt that in these findings, the PI listing is actually more average for the sold prior listings. And this is actually true because the findings have proven that the PI listing is actually more than the average sold prior listings based on the calculations. Moving on, next is the correlation and also the regression. In this part, it shows no linear relationship between the distance from the CBD and also the price. Through the findings that has been found, there really is no linear relationship. And as for that, they shows that the R square and also the slope is actually positive, which is the slope is a slope that is actually showing from downstairs and also moving upstairs because it is a very non-linear relationship between the distance from the CBD and also from the price. As to that, for this part, There's actually a lot of the more detailed parts here. The more detailed part shows that the coefficient of the regression and also the determination is actually linear. And this one, the correlation and also regression, actually earlier on the hypothesis has also proven that it is accepted as well. That is all for my findings, and thank you so much.